Oftentimes, new designers have their favorite color, something they think looks really cool, but it actually is an accessibility problem. So I see a lot of the time colors will lack contrast. Just take in the beauty of this slide. What do you think about it? If this is easy for you to look at, you have a different vision and perspective on the world than I do. When I look at this, these colors are vibrating. It hurts my eyes. It's like imprinting on my eyeballs. I hate it. Here's another one. Calmer, not vibrating, easier to look at, but we've got gray on gray here. So if you have very good vision, maybe this is pretty easy to read, but this actually lacks sufficient contrast to meet accessibility standards. So this could be difficult to read for a lot of people. Here's a good redesign. We got black text, nice and dark, on a light gray background. This more than meets contrast standards for accessibility. And that fun red accent color is now just relegated to kind of just an accent on the side of the slide. So this is very well laid out. It's clear what we're looking at. Learning objectives is a good title, has good visual hierarchy, and then each objective is bulleted below that. Very easy to read. Pretty good balance on this slide as far as use of white space and text. Something else I see is images. People love photographs. Everyone loves to look at a fun picture of something, but they don't always make the best backgrounds. They can make reading very, very difficult if they have text layered over them. One way to redesign it is to use your photograph but blur it or make it semi-transparent. Or you can do both, blur and make it semi-transparent. I mean, even PowerPoint has really simple graphic design controls where you can edit your images and blur them or make them semi-transparent, and it's going to help a lot with readability. So you might end up using this photograph as a feature on maybe a title slide, or maybe crop it as an accent picture on the side of a slide. But if you're going to layer text over it, again, contrast really matters. You need to have really good contrast with your text to be readable over a photograph. That doesn't mean you can't use the photograph. It just means you need to do a little bit light editing so it is going to be very easy to read for your user, and it's not going to take away from whatever the user is learning. If you're not sure what a sufficient contrast is, WebAIM has a wonderful contrast checker. You can just Google WebAIM contrast checker, and you can put in your font colors and your background colors, and it'll let you know if it's acceptable or not. Avoid colors that vibrate, even if they have sufficient contrast. If you're looking at something and it's a little too vibrant, you're getting a little bit too much vibration from it, just don't use it. If you really love a color, though, you can use it. Just make it an accent color. Don't make it a main color. There's plenty of room on a slide to have accent colors on the slide, accent logos or graphics on the side. Just don't layer it with elements that are really necessary for learning. Just make it an accent on the side. And again, images are great, but if you're going to layer them with text, you have to make sure the text is really readable. So you can blur your images, make them semi-transparent, lighten the color, change the color, whatever. Just make sure that there's really sufficient contrast for your users.